Sports Professor Rick Horrow inside the boardroom, beyond the scoreboard. It's an ongoing series of the leaders in sport on and off the field, on and off the course. Here's somebody who is a leader, certainly on the field/course, and with her foundation, second to none as far as what she does. But it's a different context. We're here at, as we said before, the Wal-Mart Championship, Wal-Mart Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by P&G. I did that so well yesterday, and I got the sponsors right, so that's the bottom line. That's the most important issue. Morgan Pressel, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing, Rick?
I'm awesome. Thank you very much. So, are you tired of the moniker of being the youngest LPGA pro ever to win a modern LPGA major championship? Because that's such an obvious. It's a great identification, and that's kind of who you've been over the last few years. You're not tired of it. You should revel in it, frankly.
No, it was definitely one of the highlights of my career. My first real breakthrough victory on the LPGA tour, and I mean, since then it's been broken. So records are made to be broken, but I had a good 10-year run there where I was the youngest to win a major, and I'm sure somebody will break Lydia's record. Somewhere down the pipeline.
Yeah, and it's not, the 10-year run is just the beginning of a next series of runs in a lot of different contexts. Let's talk about this event. 11 years, you've been here 10 years, better every year. Kind of compare it 10 years ago to what it's like today.
Well, I mean, it has become such a community event that it continues to grow every year. The fans that come out, the build, I mean, to think about the grandstands that we had, the first few years to what it is now. And people mark these dates on their calendar and they come out in full force. And it's a lot of fun. It's so much more than just about golf. We get to come play this great golf course, but it's really about everything that this event does for the community outside of the game of golf.
LPGA athletes are, most of them, hopefully, are business entrepreneurs as well. And I assume it's a good thing to give you an opportunity to spend a lot of time with the Wal-Mart folks, the P&G folks, the Tyson's folks, and everybody else that comes out here from a corporate perspective.
Oh, there's no question. Last night at the Pro-Am party, some of the most powerful people in the world in that room. And to be able to call so many of them my friends over the years, it's been quite the journey here for sure.
When you think about the LPGA broadly defined, and Mike Wan has been a hero for a lot of reasons, it's a partnership now with the corporate world. It's not just slapping a balance sheet together and putting on an event, but it's long-term relationships, and this is a good example of that, isn't it?
Well, 100%, and I might be a little biased, but I do think that the LPGA presents the best product in terms of, with having Wal-Mart have all their suppliers here and everybody being able to come together on the golf course for an enjoyable time, a great week. I think that we put out a great product that really makes all of that happen, and everybody has a wonderful time. And the LPGA players are very approachable, a lot of fun, and I think that's part of what makes this event such a great success.
The other making this event a success, and a little shameless plug, we're all involved in an event in Indianapolis called the Women in Tech Open, Women in Tech Championship presented by Guggenheim. The idea of, to the professional world-class athletes who participate in these kind of events, putting something on that's special and unique, the Wal-Mart opportunity for the whole week, the Women in Tech dynamic in Indy, that's something that gets your attention, not just playing. The off-the-course stuff is important too, right?
Well, definitely, and I think that that's what gives these events such long-term success and makes them more community-driven than just golf-driven. I think the Women in Tech initiative in Indianapolis will be really interesting. It's something that never has really happened on the LPGA Tour, and a way that we can come to a community, play golf, do what we do best, chase that little white golf ball and drive ourselves crazy, can really help benefit the next generation of young women leaders in technology. I think it'll be really neat.
It'll be really neat. The other thing which is very important for Morgan is she got to hit the first ball at the tournament, celebratory. Hit it about 600, 700 yards right down the speedway straightaway. Wasn't that cool? That was cool, wasn't it?
That's really cool. And even a couple weeks ago during the Indy 500, I posted a throwback like, hey, I remember when I hit a drive down pit row off the Yard of Bricks, and everyone's like, that is so cool. It's just, and I'm not a race fan, and I've not grown up in that being a fan of the Indy or of IndyCar, but being around it, it's just, it's incredible. The structure, everything around the speedway, and I mean, playing that tournament with 4 holes inside the track will be a lot of fun too.
And it's all about partnership. Wal-Mart, Tyson's, P&G here, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Guggenheim there. Mike Wan broadly has really built some interesting coalitions.
Yeah, Mike has done an incredible job from when he was hired, 8 years ago. The kind of I always say, he's handed Rome in ruins and said, let's rebuild it. And where we have come in the last 8 years is really incredible. And he's not afraid he comes up with so many great ideas and he's not afraid to try them. And sometimes he'll throw it out and, maybe it won't work. But a lot of them have worked and a lot of them have been really tremendous successes, just like International Crown and events like that.
The difference between Rome is it had already burned down already, so you didn't have the drama. Here you have to reconstruct it to figure out what to do with it, which he's done a great job with, too.
Yeah, he's done a great job. The LPGA is in a very strong position corporately, as well as the future coming up the pipeline of players. So I think there's a lot to be seen in the next 10, 20, 30 years. I mean, the LPGA is the longest-running women's sports organization in the world. I think a lot of people don't know that, and I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Well, let's talk about the next 10, 20, 30 years. No, Rick, I only want to talk about today's golf game. Sorry, wrong interview. So the next 10, 20, 30 years, you are doing an incredible job of morphing into a business person. You were a business person day one. It's easy for you to do, but now you're you're going to kill me for saying senior statesman on the tour. That's the wrong words. But people look up to you. You have a lot of boardroom acumen, and you're doing some great things. So talk about your foundation.
Yeah, my foundation. I'm certainly getting old out here.
I didn't mean it that way. Sorry, we didn't mean it that way.
No, that was me, 10, 12 years ago when I first came out on tour. But, over the last 10 years when I started my foundation for breast cancer in honor of my late mother, it has just blown up. And we've been able to do really incredible things in South Florida. The community where we host the event, St. Andrews Country Club, has been one of my most incredible supporters. I could not do it without them and without everything that they have put in, energy, time, investment. It's just we're being able to make a difference to the lives of young women in South Florida fighting breast cancer and even encouraging them to get tested, which is my biggest push and challenge to all young women is find out, get your mammogram. Don't wait. You don't want to catch it until it's too late, because today, still to this day, the best way to fight breast cancer is to catch it early. Yeah. If you catch it too late, we don't have the drug technology quite yet. And that's, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, potentially. But right now, today, is get tested, get checked. So,
what do you say to the Charles Barkleys of the world that say that athletes are not role models?
I can only live the way that I was brought up and the way that I was taught, and I certainly try to be a role model every day. I had incredible role models growing up, both on the golf course and off the golf course. And, as women golfers, we have so many young kids that come out to our tournaments, and it's our job to inspire the next generation and show them what you should act like as a professional out here.
I always do this in the interviews. You know who her uncle was? It's Aaron Crickstein. Do we know who he is? He was the guy played tennis, the McEnroe match, Connors match, McEnroe match. The longest one. It's the one that's played in Jimmy Connors, sorry. It's the one that's played on the rain delays, the U.S. Open.
Now they don't have rain delays. Now they don't have the rain delays. They put the roof on it, so we don't have any rain delays.
So I was going to say, this most popular tennis player ever that people don't know now because we don't need to watch it anymore. So what's next for Morgan Pressel?
I'm going to a little bit more of the same. Going to keep chasing that little white golf ball around, and I'm working really hard trying to get my game back on track where I'd like it to be. It's not quite there, and it never is there, but always a constant pursuit towards playing better. And my husband and I would certainly like to have a family, but that's probably a couple years away. And as long as my body holds up, I'd really like to continue to play golf as long as I can continue to compete at the highest level. And from there, who knows? I'm not ruling anything out or trying to put a limit on anything, just kind of going with the flow as it is right now.
So I don't know your exact age. We're not going to do that. But Tom Watson almost won the major at Turnberry when he was 59. Remember?
I do remember that. I remember exactly where I was watching that on TV for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's not over yet. Morgan Pressel, thank you very much. Rick Horrow, be on the scoreboard. Speak with you in a few minutes. Come back soon.